Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and behind me here is I think it's a 67 or 68 Massey Ferguson bulldozer. It's an MF300, and had it out on the job. She's been out on the job, well, a couple different jobs, but it's been about a year and a half since I've had it back here to the shop to try to do any service and maintenance. I've done a little bit out in the field just here and there, but actual true service, she's way past due. So got her up here now. We'll give her some love, change some fluids out, change some filters. Got a couple little issues. Got a track tensioner that's been out on the other side, and I rigged it out on a job site, just strapped some angle iron and a horseshoe behind it that I dug up out of the ground. It's probably 100 years old. And anyway, the track ain't fell off yet, but it's starting to get pretty loose. And anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and fix that so it's not falling off. I ain't gonna say fix it, but we're gonna rig it so it don't fall off. And kind of like what I done on the track loader, if you've seen that video. That's working real good on the track loader. So now I got it up here, got access to the welder and all. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this. And first we got to get some of this dirt knocked off of it so we can see what we're doing. Like I said, poor girl's been rode hard and put up wet, and it's past due to get her cleaned up, get service done on her. She's been good to me, I gotta be good to her. So alright, keep watching. We'll get this thing cleaned up and fixed up, oiled up, and ready to roll again. Alright, now I got some of the dirt knocked off of it. I can see what, I actually see the dozer. I want to get the hood off of it. That way I can look, see, I got oil, it's been all over top of the motor. I'm not sure if I got a valve cover leaking or a breather tube or what's going on with it. That'll just make it easier to get to the filters and everything else too. I haven't had it off of there in quite some time. Just wanted to check everything while I'm at it. So get the hood yank off this thing and make sure the valve cover's not leaking, and before we start changing oil and stuff. Alright, I got it off there. Well, that thing ain't no joke. It's got a little weight to it. I didn't think it was going to be that heavy, but I guess that muffler system, I guess like glass pack or something, where you can feel it's solid. But anyway, I'm going to break the pressure washer back out. You can see how nasty it is. I wasn't able to get up in here with the hood on there, so I'm gonna get up here and get it cleaned up. I don't really see anything that's really leaking. Here's the crankcase vent. But I don't know, I guess it's just a bunch of residual stuff. Like I said, it's got a bunch of hours on it since I've had it over here, done any service on it. Probably should have never waited this long, but you know, you go from one job to the next, just ain't got time to do it. Matter of fact, I got several jobs right now I need to be doing, but can't do them if I run the machine to death, so they just have to wait, get the machine fixed up. So yeah, I'm gonna get that cleaned up. That's just too nasty to try to do anything with it. And you got sticks and everything else. It's a fire hazard waiting to happen. All right, we just had a rainstorm pop up. I did hit a little bit with the pressure washer, and I got rained on some more, but rain slacked off for a moment, and I was just curious to find out what's going on here. This here's a crankcase breather, and that's where all the dirt's coming from. Let's see. Valve cover gasket. Valve cover's pretty loose, so that's probably part of the problem. Torque that back down, and I'll get that slid back on there. Be good to go for another 10-20,000 hours. Alright, let's see if I can get her with this. I can get a better screwdriver. Ah, much better. I knew it was something simple. I'm glad it was. Alright. Found a couple other things. This here is supposed to be fuel shut off. It's done wore all the way through that. And I bent that back and had this in there. And anyway, I got the throttle adjusted where I could just shut it off with the throttle. Well, it's done wore off there completely now, so if I didn't have the throttle adjusted like I did, I wouldn't even be able to shut it off. So I'm gonna pull that out of there, bend that piece down, that way at least I'll have the fuel shut off working if I need it. And I sprayed the fan with the pressure washer, it just started spinning. So that definitely is not going to help it stay cool. So I'll have to get that tightened up, and I'll probably get the belly pan and stuff cleaned out. I don't know if you can see down in there, but there you can. It's pretty nasty. Let me get the pans off there, get that cleaned out. Right now, if this thing were to ever catch on fire, there wouldn't be no stopping it. I hate to be like Andrew and his Traco. I always try to keep fire extinguishers. I don't have one on the dozer, but I usually have one with me on another machine. I got them on my Traco. Haven't got one for the skid steer yet, but it's a good reminder. I need to have one on each machine, because that down there is nothing but oil and grease and leaves and sticks. So if it ever did go, you ain't stopping it. So let me get this linkage pulled off there, and we'll get that piece there bent down and tighten the fan up and a couple other little things. And here's where the filter is on this one. I got one here, goes to the final drive and steering clutches, and then there's two over there that go to the transmission or shuttle shift or reverser or power shifter or whatever you want to call it. So that's where we're at for now. I'll get back with you in a minute. Well, it's good and tight now. It's been slipping for a while, so I wore that belt down, but ain't no big deal. It'll still work. Alright, now I'm gonna get that fuel shut off bracket, get a piece bit down on it and get it hooked back up, and then we can get on with changing filters. Yep, there's the side the air cleaner. Yeah, she's a little dirty. Alright, well, I got a pressure washer here. Let me get that cleaned up. Still ain't got the rod. I'll get this cleaned up, then I'll get to the rod. Alright, got that bent around there. Got a hole drilled in there for a car key. A couple car keys laying up there. Let's see if I can slide that sucker back in there. Alright, I'm gonna pull this water fuel separator off of here. I bet that sucker's nasty. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that yummy? Yeah. Alright, let me hurry up before I lose all my diesel. Yeah, it's been a while. I drain the water out of it every so often, but some nasty stuff. Yeah, she's pretty nasty. Oh, I got diesel all over me trying to get it. Oh, she's still leaking oil. Come on. Where's it coming out at? Heck. Ah, let's seal fill out. And that'll do it. Alright, let's try it again with seal in there. Alright. Quit while I'm ahead. Alright, I gotta get the belly pans off this thing so I can get some access here. Pretty nasty under there, but I can't get to anything with the belly pans on there. I can get to the drain plugs, but I want to take those screens out. Got one in the motor and one in the transmission and one in the rear end or final drive. So let me get that off there, and at least we'll be able to clean all that junk out of there. Yeah, she's a bit dirty. Nah, wasn't a fire hazard going on there, was it? Alright, let me get this cleaned up and move on to the next one. Oh, well, she's down. She bit me. Got a little weight on it. All that junk on there. Yeah, I think she's passed through to get cleaned out. Alright, I got them off there. Up there fell down and caught me on the back of the hand. So I had to take a little bit of break, but back on it. I gotta get all this junk cleaned off of them. But while I was at it, we got a hydraulic leak here on this cylinder where it bolts up. This piece bolts to here. You see it's got O-rings go in there. We got a couple more O-rings. It's not quite, it's supposed to be like flat gaskets, but you can't find them anywhere. You went to a hydraulic shop and they couldn't match nothing up. So best I can come up with is put some O-rings back in there. It's been working like that for about a year and a half. So and I made a gasket here to kind of help with that. But the old O-ring with dry rot had a crack in it. Probably the only reason why it was leaking. So without the correct gasket that's supposed to go in there, we're gonna put O-ring back in it and screw it back down. That'll be good for now, and until we gotta replace O-ring again. We had got the old filter off, and hydraulic filters I got are the same filters, but there's actual oil filters got different microns that it filters out, which nobody had one. Nobody seemed to be able to get one, but somehow I was able to get one before. So I'm gonna put one of the other filters in it, and it'll be fine as long as it's got a filter in it. And I went ahead and grabbed some more fuel filters. I can go ahead and change this other old fuel filter out of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that before I crawl up underneath there and try to get all the rest of this stuff out of the belly pan, and start draining some fluid and taking screens out and crawling around getting all nasty. I figure I'd go ahead and get this end done before I crawl underneath it. So let's put this cylinder back together and then get the filter swapped out, and then we'll crawl up underneath the belly of the beast. Got some nice pretty clean filters on there. Nice pretty clean one inside that canister there. Now it's time to get down and dirty. Got that all sealed up, cleaned up. Alright, let's get some of that other fluid changed. Alright, we're under the belly of the beast. Pretty nasty stuff going on here. This one here's the transmission, this one here's the engine. This transmission fluid should still be good. Hasn't been too long changing it. I need to get the screen off there and clean it. So I'm gonna drain it, and if the fluid looks alright, I'm gonna reuse it. If not, I got some more, but this is actual ATF, well, actually Dextron 3 that's in there. And if it's clean, like I said, I'm gonna reuse it. That stuff's way too expensive. I have changed filters and stuff, and fluids. I just hadn't had the belly pan off to be able to get this screen out of here. So I'm gonna drain the fluid, and then we'll pop that screen off there. And I figure I'll do that before I go trying to pull all this junk out of here, and it had fallen down on everything. So and that's what the plan is. Alright, that fluid still looks brand new. Like I said, it ain't been in there very long. I changed it, which wasn't able to get to the screen. Put filters in it and stuff. So I'll reuse that. I'm gonna see if I can't get that sucked up out of there and put some buckets before I get any dirt in it. And then we'll get that screen off there and clean that. Well, I have to say, this thing's pretty daggone clean. Yep, I'm happy about that. Oh, that looks pretty good. Well, this don't look bad either. Silicone or something in there, but a little smashed, but I don't think it's hurting nothing. It's clean. Well, that's probably why. Look at this. At least that piece that stays in there. Alright, well, that's a good thing. It's pretty clean. Cleaned up. Put back on there. Start dumping some oil in here. There's one thing that aggravates me about this dozer. It ain't the dozer, it's the motor. I don't know if you can see, but you got this little thing there, and it's got a screen in it, so oil can't go in it very fast. That's all the faster you can pour oil in it. Any faster than that, it just dumps out. And then of course when I got the hood and everything on here, you can't even hardly get in there to the thing. Like you can't get in there with a jug. I got to use a pump oil in it. Where a track loader has a big old thing over on this side of the engine where you can unscrew it, and got a big old hole to dump some oil in. Why in the world they didn't put it on this thing, I don't know, but it's gonna be here for a while. It's gonna take forever to get 2.5 gallons in this thing. Alright, I got a little bit more scraped out from underneath there, so that ought to lighten my load. There's oil that's in there. Ain't too bad. It's pretty dark, but of course it's been in there for a year and a half, so it was due, but everything was pretty clean. Got oil and stuff back in it. Now I need to do some more cleaning and stuff underneath it, and change the final drive fluid and the transmission and final drive filters, and start putting her back together. We can get that track fixed over there, well, rigged. I'm just going to put me a piece of channel iron in between the tensioner and the ram there. Anyway, that's a project for another day. Alright, well, this is kind of aggravating. We can see here, I'm just going to get it to focus. This is a Napa 1157. And I don't know how well you'll be able to read this one. I'll try to get some different light on it. Anyway, this is also an 1157. And there's a little bit of difference here. So these will not fit in the canisters like they're supposed to. So I guess that explains how come they didn't work on the track loader. Alright, so here we got the Napa Gold 1157. Here we have the Wix 5 1157. Now the 5 just designates it as a Wix filter, and there's an obvious difference here. And now it crosses over CarQuest number 85518. Now that was filter number from the track loader, and there's a little bit of difference there. Height is still the same, it'll seal up. And this one even comes with this thing here, which, it don't work for me. And then we got the Wix filter, which is the equivalent of the CarQuest filter, and it's pretty close to matching the CarQuest one. But the difference between the weight of them, this one weighs literally twice as much as this one. I don't know, this one's filters out more smaller microns or what, but I guess the CarQuest filter, I guess it kind of feels cheap. I almost feel like a rattle in it. Then the Wix filter, it's good and solid, which Wix usually makes the filters for most of the auto companies, Advanced Auto and whatever. But anyway, I guess I have to work with what I got. Story of my life. Alright, I need to get her started up and turned around here so we can drain the final drive down here. See if she starts. Uh-oh. Alright, well, I guess I didn't get a gasket in there. I went a little bit of transmission fluid. Always something. Alright, let me yank him back off there and see what the heck happened. Alright, well, I didn't get the seal didn't stay in place when I put it on there. Alright, let me put another one on there. Alright, no leaks now. Yeah. Well, I'm actually surprised. There's not hardly anything in this filter. A little piece of gasket material I just got on there when I was trying to get it out of there. This filter, or strainer rather, I've probably changed that thing, cleaned it probably 7 or 8 times, and probably about the last year or so. And almost every time I found that thing to be clogged up with just sludge and slime, and like how those other ones were in the track loader. But anyway, she's pretty clean now, so and the oil looks pretty good. And so I guess it's finally got all that crap flushed out of it. So I'm happy about that. I get the filter changed out, get this thing cleaned back up, get some good fresh fluid in it, and transmission on this thing and fluid and all that look great. The pickup screen on it, so she's a little better than what I what I was expecting. So good news for me. I get her cleaned up and put back together. Alright, well, I got a slight leak in this radiator where the bowl's soldered on there. I've already got started on it. I didn't realize the camera wasn't recording, but had a crack here and I got another crack here. I've already got that one. I'm gonna get over here on that one. Of course, it's hard to get to do a good job, but as long as I can get it to hold water, that's all we care about. So I surely don't want to take this radiator out if I ain't got to. If I take it out, then I'm gonna probably take it to a shop and have it flushed and a whole 9 yards, maybe even record. And I ain't really had no problems out of it. It usually runs about a gallon or so low on water, and like I said, I've never really had any problems out of it. So I just figured while I had it here and getting everything cleaned up and all, that I went ahead and drained some of the antifreeze and stuff out of it. That way I don't have the antifreeze trying to dirty up my solder there. Still got some residual in it. I cleaned it best I could, brake cleaner and wire brush and everything else, but I heat it up, it just more crap keeps boiling out. So it's putting up a fight, but anyway, we're gonna get it, at least get it good enough. So set a little bit of solder on it and hopefully she'll hold some water. Got it. It's a little sloppy, but it adhered to it, so I think we're gonna be all right. I'll fill it up with some water and we'll find out, I reckon. It's gotta be better than it was. It was just a gaping crack. Yeah, might still be a crack on that one. I might hit that again. I don't know. I'll fill it up with water and see what happens first. I was gonna go ahead and pull the radiator out of there and, you know, maybe try to do a good job fixing it, but these old radiator hoses and clamps and stuff, they don't want to budge, and if I do, the hoses are gonna break, and I don't have any hoses or anything, and it's Sunday, and so anyway, I'm not gonna pull that out of there. Plus there's hydraulic lines that go into it, the transmission cooler in the bottom that can't really get to, so I think I'm just gonna leave it alone for right now, and I can get some hoses and whatnot. I'll just throw some more stop leak in it and use it like that for a while. And I guess next service I'll plan for that. So all right, well, still gotta finish filling up the final drive and basically put everything back together. So like I said, I'm done with the radiator right now. The more I keep messing with it, probably worse it's gonna get. I ain't too sure it wasn't leaking there before until I got it hot, and I probably melted the old solder that was on it or something. But anyway, it was leaking all the way across where the bowl soldered on there before. So it ain't no worse than what it was. It might be slightly better, but not a whole lot. Boy, that thing ain't light. Reminds me of the time I put a Chevy 350 in my old truck from underneath. I didn't have no way to, didn't have no lift. He's up there. All bolts are on it. Now I can go to the top side and get it bolted up. Boy, I ain't as young as I used to be. Alright, well, at least this other cover here won't be nothing compared to that. Down there I was kind of doubting if I was going to be able to do that one. I'm going to figure out, try to get it on a jack, drive a dozer over top of it, then jack it up, but I got her. Alright, got them bolted up. Time to move on. Alright, let's put the hood on this thing.